You are, it seems, a man of many skills. A rare combination.
Approximately, how much do you make a week?
What's poppin'? Good morning. I'm coming at you nice and early. I want to get this video in before the market opens. So I appreciate everyone who sent in some tickers for me to break down. This is so fun. I love this. So let's get it going. We're going to start off with CSIQ, Canadian Solar. So I work at a solar farm and I deal with Canadian solar panels. It's just cool to see how where I work with the product, and now I can invest in the stocks. So it's super cool to look at. So I'm just going to zoom out here on the weekly time frame just to get you guys to see bigger picture here. There's a huge resistance point here clearly, and this goes back to 2008. Big rush up to $43, comes back down, comes back up to 44, comes back up again, right? So now, as of recent, let's look at it. We have since October 2020, it came back up to $44 range, but this time it hung around here and it stayed, and it started to make higher lows. Like, this is a really nice pattern, and to be honest, I wish I got into this a little bit earlier, but there's still some opportunity, I believe, here. So as you could see, it started making higher lows up into this resistance point. And then what happens? It breaks over the resistance point, creates a bull flag, and it looks like we're ready to keep running. Now, it might not necessarily happen right now. What it could play out to be one of these situations where it wants to come back and test this all-time high resistance as support. And now if it could make this support, then I would 100% think if it hangs around this level here, it's going to go for a massive run. So I kind of really like the looks of CSIQ here, Canadian Solar. Now we're going to move on. We got FSR. And to be honest, at first I didn't really like this stock because it's very volatile, as you can see. And if we look back just to the beginning of December, January, there was nothing going on here, and then all of a sudden, boom, massive spike in volume. And as you can see, this thing's volatile, going from lows of $10 to highs of around 21. So it's a pretty volatile stock. It's probably really good to trade with if you're in at the right time. You could 100% make a lot of money on this if you're in at the right time, but be safe, because you could just, like on the other side of the coin, right? Like, if you're able to make a lot, you're also able to lose a lot. So just be a little bit careful if you're investing. It likes to really move, this guy. And as you can see, if you look down on the volume nodes here, the volume is a sign. Like, big volume, it's a sign that it's going up. Big volume here, another big day. So I think this one's one of those stocks where it's not really going to move too much unless there's big volume. So if you're like eager to get in FSR, keep an eye on the volume. This here, as of the last 3 trading days, this is what we call an evening star candlestick pattern. Now, it's a 3 candlestick pattern. We have huge rejection here, a big wick. So that's a sign that there's a rejection of buyers here, and the sellers are actually in control, and it happens to follow through with this pattern, like certifying that. So to be honest, I want to see it hold this support level here. If it could hold 1455 range, this is pretty good. I'm expecting it to go at least try to make it back to its highs if it could hold this range. But what this candlestick pattern here is actually telling me is that there could be further downside coming. It's not a guarantee, but it's definitely something you want to take into consideration when you're investing in this one. All right, so we got CWRK, Currency Works. Now my brother's snoring, so try not to let that distract you. So this one I'm not too much of a big fan of. As you can see, again, it was similar to FSR, nothing going on here until boom, big volume. Now I don't really like playing stocks like that too much because it makes me feel like somebody knows something. You know what I mean? And I like stocks that are a little bit more busy. Like if you look back to CSIQ, that stock has been in the game and there's been lots of investors in it. Where this, I wouldn't necessarily say so much. And to be honest, if we look in closer to this one on the 2 hour, yeah, the 2 hour is a little bit more of a better picture. But when we look at the stock here, it likes to give back a lot of its move. So this had a big push to the upside, and then it came back down like over 60% from its highs, right? But then it regathered itself there, and then it made another big push. And if we look here, from its highs, it gave back another like 40%. Like, to be honest, this isn't a stock that I would want to invest in just because it tends to give back a lot. And I'd rather have a stock that's holding up levels. That's a more bullish sign that you want to see. So that's what I would suggest for CWRK. I would expect this one to actually, if it can't hold this level, then I want to see it has to hold that level. It has to hold 0.70 in my opinion, or else that's kind of a bad sign. So as we go on, we got BNGO. This one's actually a pretty nice chart. I don't, it's gappy on the daily. So, and it's another another one with like it's not very busy until boom, somebody knows something and somebody gets in there. Now, I'm not saying that there's no opportunity here. There's clearly a lot of opportunity. This one's holding up better than the last one, it looks like. So yeah, it gave back around 40% of the move there, but it held up, and then it's starting to create some nice higher highs here. We're in an uptrend. So it's in since December 20, so a little nice monthly uptrend. You want it to keep this uptrend. So what I use to monitor that is this line here that you see. It's a 20 EMA. So it's taking the average of the past 20 candlesticks, and basically it prints that. If it could hold this as like a dynamic support, that's a good sign in my opinion. So if you're already in it, congrats. It looks like you're making some decent money. But be careful, because it really does look like on the daily that this thing likes to just gap up. So and these large wicks from the top here are telling you there's a rejection of sellers. So, or sorry, a rejection of buyers, and that the sellers look to be really present in this stock. So just keep an eye out if you're in that stock. This isn't something that I would personally want to invest in, just because I have a little bit more keen of an eye with my investments and I want to see certain things, and this one doesn't happen to be one of them. So what do we got here? GRN. Oh buddy, this is a beautiful stock. This is what I'm talking about. So this is a great opportunity right here, I think. And as you can see, it's a lot more busy than some of the past stocks, right? So, and it really gathered itself, and it started making a nice floor down here at 30 cents. This is a penny stock, and it's showing you this much active investors in it. So this is a good sign. This is what you want to see. It came up to this point here, made highs of 85 cents, and it came back down crashing to 20 cents, right? This was back in March. So this had to do with the Corona dump. I don't think this had to do with bad fundamentals or anything like that. But as you could see, it regained real quick, and it started to hold this $36 level. Huge. You want to see that? Makes a nice pattern here, comes and holds 55, and then a huge break to the upside. This is an awesome stock. And let's see what it looks like on the 8 EMA. Oh my god, this thing is, the 8 EMA is its best friend. Like, it loves the 8 EMA. It's using it as a perfect dynamic support, and it's continuously making bullish patterns here. So it loves its triangles. If you zoom in on the 2 hour, you'll see more triangles, right? If we look at this on, we'll go back to the 2 hour, look at this beautiful triangle. Like, this stock is, I might have to get a position in this puppy, but it looks like it broke the triangle bull, and it could be ready to make its next run to the upside here. Who knows how high? I think it's at least going to try to test 275, and if it could create another bullish pattern up here and then continue to the upside, hey man, this could be a crazy stock in 2021. It's a renewable energy stock. There's some awesome fundamentals behind it if you want to research the company. I've heard about this stock in a while. One of my buddies told me about it around like 77 cents. Boy, do I regret not getting in this thing. But man, there's clearly some opportunity here, right? So this is a great example of a stock. So I appreciate you, Nick, for Nick Lindsay, man. You're saucy with the stocks, boy. I see you, boy. Oh my God. All right, what's next here? We got NNDM. So I like NNDM. Although, if you really look back on the weekly, it's in a massive downtrend. This stock is in a massive downtrend. I usually don't like stocks like this, to be honest. But as of recent, some news came out that Kathy Woods from ARC Technologies, she's essentially the female Warren Buffett. She's been gathering shares of this stock apparently. So that's what I believe has caused the hype recently. But as you can see, it's holding up and it's creating bullish patterns here. Like it's using the 20 EMA as a dynamic support and it's chugging along. Now there might be some red days along the way, but if you're able to hold, I think this is a good one. I got in on this. I believe it was $7 and I played long calls and then I exited the other day here at like 10.50. I'm not exactly sure what the gains was because I wanted to make sure my higher low in my account was just still intact. So I exited my position, but as you can see, man, this thing's in a clear uptrend. It's making higher highs and higher lows, and now that I really look at it, it's really liking this trend line. It seems like I would stay in. If I could get back in, I would, but I believe that there still could be better opportunities out there. There's still nicer charts, but if you're looking to get in, it looks like it could be creating some sort of triangle pattern, as you could see here. Actually, maybe not a triangle. I love my triangles too much, clearly, but I like that range. It could be breaking out and trying to test this level and then going up for another run, right? So it's always fun to try and use support and resistance lines, trend lines. As you can see that this was resistance at one point and it came back up and it wanted to come back down, but it's holding. So I really like the way the 20 EMA is looking on this stock. So that's what you got for NNDM. LAZR, Luminar Technologies. We got a nice triangle here. Again, not too much going on. I don't know what was happening here. I don't really like to invest in stocks that aren't really busy in the past. If there's all of a sudden big news and big flow into the stock, I just feel personally like not too at ease to invest in it. I want to see more price action. I want to see that there was many investors and good amount of support and resistance in the stock so I could actually play off of it, right? And the more information there is technically when it comes to that stuff, it makes it a lot easier to predict what could potentially happen in the future, right? So with this one, I'm really not sure where there's not too much support here, right? Or too much resistance. So it could rip to the upside or rip to the downside, right? As you can see, that's a level and that's a level. Although we broke this triangle bear, it looks like, I'd want it to hold this 28.30 range. Now, me personally, I wouldn't really want to get into this unless it could hold this level and I see bullish patterns. So that's what we got for LAZR. SCR, or oh, this is our baby. This is our baby. Look at it, the score. Just like, so a couple of weeks ago I made a video on this play, and as you can see, it's basically, wow, it's hit all our targets. It looks good, man. Like, beautiful weekly triangle breakout, creates a inverse head and shoulders pattern with this being the neckline, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Look at these wicks. Like, everything about this stock was telling you, like, yo, I want to go up. So I'm very happy to have participated in this stock. One mistake I did make, though, is I exited my position here because the earnings was the next day. So I wasn't 100% sure what the outcome was going to be. So because I exited my position, I missed, and I had to rebuy back in at like 269. So although we're still in the green, I think that this could be a big player for 2021, man. It's a Canadian stock, and with all the bullish catalysts behind it, like legalization of one-line betting, man, this stock's, I personally think any dip that there is in this stock is an opportunity to buy the dip. That's what I'm going to be doing, and that's going to be my strategy with SCR until it gives me red flags saying we don't want to go up anymore. I feel like this is going to be a big player in 2021. We got MYCO. So well, let's zoom out of MYCO for a little bit here, and we got like it's a pretty big downtrend, right? As you can see, since 2018 it's been in a solid downtrend, and it's having trouble making higher highs. Instead, it's making lower lows and lower highs, right? So I'm going to mark that out for you guys so you can kind of get an idea. It had a high point, and then it came crashing down to a low point, and it then made a lower high, and then a lower low, and then a lower high, and then a lower low, and then a lower high. I'm going to put those on there, but you don't really want to see that in a stock. You want to see stocks that make higher highs, higher lows. This is clearly a downtrend, and this is on the weekly time frame. But when we do zoom into the daily, it does look like it's starting to get a little bit more busy. Now that we're past, like, it looks like in 2020 it had some action here for sure. But just to point out some patterns here for you guys, this is a head and shoulders pattern, and the ideology and the psychology behind this pattern is that there's going to be continuous downside, because it's telling you that there was a uptrending stock, and it changes the trend when it makes a lower high from the previous one, right? So it started off low, came high, a higher low, higher high, but it didn't continue the uptrend and continuously make higher highs. It actually went and made a lower high. Could be confusing at first. I have an identifying trends video that you could use to break down like the higher highs and the higher low sequences and stuff like that, and how to identify a trend. But this head and shoulders pattern, it turned out to work out, and it ended up continuously going to the downside. And what we see here is that this resistance point, 58 cents, doesn't really, it's fighting, as you can see. It doesn't really want to go over it right now. But if it can make higher highs and higher lows, this could make a push to the upside. There's still opportunity in this play. It's just not something that I personally am attracted to, especially because it's a penny stock as well. So we have AMC here, and we got another downtrend here on AMC. So I'm glad that you guys were sending in these stocks, because I feel like there's pretty good examples here of both uptrends and downtrends. So yeah, this is not one that I'm interested in at all. Like, I would not, you'd have to pay me to put money into this one, actually, because although right now there is some potential to make a play, I'm not saying you can't make money on this stock. You 100% can. It's just not in my liking. So if you are going to get into this, there is a low risk play, I guess, but if it breaks below this level here of $1.91, then hey, dude, I'd get out for sure. If you're going to play this is the look I'd have on it. I'd try to get an entry at what it is now, at around $2.34. If it breaks anywhere below this white line support, you better run fast, because it could crash really fast, right? Not a huge fan of AMC here, but I really appreciate you sending this one in. This is a good learning lesson for sure. And yes, lastly, this is a stock that I chose. I think this is definitely due for some upside here. With the gaming industry going to pop off, maybe it's 2021, man. We got some, if you see what happened to GameStop stock the other day, some massive returns on GameStop. Check that one out. But as you can see, this one's good. It's a massive uptrend. So look at this stock, right? Since it started in the 1999, it's been in a massive uptrend. This is beautiful. And then of course, what happened was sometime last year it had a big correction, which is fine. All healthy stocks need to correct they need to have some sort of mean reversion, just so it could equalize, man. This is the healthiest thing you could see. After this huge pullback, it creates a cup and handle pattern, and what that pattern usually signifies is it's a continuation pattern. And then right off of the continuation pattern, what happens is we get a nice bull flag. I really like this stock. I want to try to get into this and play some options calls on this for maybe April, May. I'm thinking that range would be great for this stock. I think it at least wants to go to a mental number of 100. So I'm going to mark that point there, because I believe that this is going to get to 100 at some point in 2021. So I'm going to add that there, but I'm going to break this down real quick for you guys. This cup and handle, right? It makes, this is the handle of the cup. It doesn't give back more than like 50% of the move. It gave back way less than that, actually. And then after this, we have some bullish signs here. It creates a bull flag. Now, what is a bull flag? I have another video of what a bull flag is somewhere deep down in that 50 video catalog there, or whatever you want to call it. But another few things I like is, out of this bull flag, it's making wicks off of the 20 EMA. Now, that's bullish. You want to see the rejection of sellers in a stock. That's something I think is a very good sign. So I did a fib extension move to see where could this possibly go, from the low of this move to the high, and pulled back to the lowest it made in recent days, and it looks like 105 is the first target. So if you happen to get in here and it goes to 105, that's a nice 15%. Now think about that. 15%, wow, it might not seem like a lot, but like 15% of $5,000, dude, that's not bad. Or if you have $10,000, $1,500, dude, that's great, right? Or what you could do is you could leverage your position with options, right? If you want to get a larger return and you expect that this is going to go around $105 range, you go the options route so you can get a larger return on your investment. And you could probably use a smaller amount of cash to get that big reward, right? So those are just some ideas there. I really appreciate everyone who sent in some stocks that I can go over. You guys are cool, man. Like, all of you guys, I really appreciate it. So cheers. I hope you have a great trading week, and let's get it started, man.